Hey guys, Cassidy Quinn here. I hope you are doing well as you possibly can be. I feel like I've been saying that for months since we entered a global pandemic, but today I'm saying it again because there's a lot happening in the world that we need to talk about. I know this is gonna be more serious than most of the videos I post here on my channel, but here's the thing. What I want to do with my channel is show people that you can be happy. You can live the life you deserve. You can go out and do the things you want to do. You can chase your dreams. I want everyone to get that. And the reality is, a lot of people don't get that. As I'm recording this, Portland, where I live, Portland, Oregon, is on night 8 in a row of thousands of people marching through the streets protesting the death of George Floyd. But of course, as we know, it is not just about George Floyd, a man who a little over 10 days ago in Minneapolis died when a Minneapolis police officer knelt on his neck for almost 9 minutes. He couldn't breathe. He said he couldn't breathe. The officer did not listen. We all know how that ended. George Floyd's life ended. Breonna Taylor's life ended a couple of months ago. She was shot many times by police officers while she was sleeping in her own home. Philando Castile, Michael Brown, Ahmaud Arbery. So that's why I'm talking about this today. It is not to take away from any of the black voices speaking important things right now and always. We should always be listening. Maybe we just weren't listening until now, and that is horrible. So we're listening now. This isn't a new problem. Racism is not a new problem. It is a hundreds and hundreds of years old problem, and we have looked away from all of it for too long. And by we, I mean we white people. Clearly we should have been at this point a long time ago, but we cannot just forget about it. We can't let it disappear when our Instagram story goes away 24 hours later, or our Twitter timeline refreshes, or the Facebook algorithm stops pushing it into our feed. We can't stop listening. So that's what I've been trying to do, and just learn. And that is my favorite thing, if I can say that, about this current time in our world, is that we are giving everyone the space to listen and learn. I'm gonna read a tweet from Akilah Hughes that I appreciated. She said, if you want to play piano, but you're bad at playing piano, you practice, you get better. Don't be the kind of white person who doesn't post out of fear of effing up. If you want to support black people, but you're bad at supporting black people, practice and get better. As long as you, at your core, are trying to do the best job you can, being nice to people, just practicing kindness, remembering that we are all humans. What do you want people to do to you? You want them to be nice to you, so be nice to other people. YouTuber Roberto Blake, he says, when you don't know what to say, start with something kind. When you don't know what to do, start with something kind. When you don't know how to act, start with something kind. It's not easy, it's simple. Like, I posted something on Facebook the other day about Blackout Tuesday and the meaning behind it and the original intention, and someone commented, I don't see color. Color is not a thing in my mind. The thing is, it does exist. It shouldn't. Like, race is a social construct, but it has been a social construct for hundreds and hundreds of years. And so, when you say you don't see color, you're just kind of ignoring history. And I'll be honest, history was my least favorite subject in school. Number one, I didn't have great reading comprehension, so I just couldn't like soak in all the stuff. And number two, I didn't think it was that interesting, and I didn't think it applied to my life. I was a teenager. I've learned a lot since then. Like, what a privileged thing to say. What a place of white privilege that comes from, to say history doesn't matter, I don't really need to learn all this stuff. I didn't understand my own white privilege until much more recently than I would care to admit. It was only a few years ago, and I remember in college I had friends of other races, and they would talk about how hard it was and how hard they had to work to just get to the same place that the white people start. And I always was defensive about that. Like, I work my butt off, okay? I have worked really hard to get everything I have in this world. And I realize now that is so wrong. I have heard the metaphor, you've probably heard it before so many times, of if, let's say it's a track meet, okay? You're gonna run a lap around the track. The white person starts at the starting line, and in this metaphor, the black person starts like 10 meters back. You can't just say everyone is equal at the starting line and you guys all run around. Another tweet. Former Seattle Seahawk, Doug Baldwin. He said, I keep getting asked by white people, what can I do? Well, for one, you can stop asking others what you should do and ask yourself what you should do. Be empathetic. What would you do if that was your son, your brother, your husband, your father? Donate your time, your money, your intellectual ingenuity, and your human spirit to make change. Don't be complacent and complicit, and challenge others not to be either. When I first read those tweets, it was like this light bulb went off above my head. Because the few days before that, I was just stuck in this place of, things are horrible, and I can't do anything about it. What can I do? Oh gosh, things are so bad. Which, number one, is a very selfish place to live in if you're a white person and you're just living in your white guilt. But it's okay. You live there for a couple days, I lived there for a couple days, and then you realize, oh wait, I can do something. There have been protests in every single state in America, and that is so cool. And there have been protests around the world. I keep thinking, 2020 so far is a bit of a dumpster fire, okay? A bit is putting it very mildly. However, what I keep reminding myself is that how cool will it hopefully be when we get to the end of 2020 and we can say we actually changed something this time. Let's make that happen. If you don't have money, you don't have to donate. If you have money, even $10 to spare, you can donate to all kinds of nonprofit organizations, whether you want to donate at a local level, a national level. You can march on the streets of your city. You can share posts on social media from black businesses, black creators, black activists. You can be part of spreading their message and elevating those voices. If you own a business, you make choices to hire people all the time. Another thing we can do, we can vote. So many people fought for the right to vote, and I will admit, maybe until way too recently, I didn't understand the importance of voting in local elections. If you want to read more about it, President Barack Obama wrote an awesome piece on medium.com a couple of days ago about why it is so important to vote in your local elections, and that is where changes can really be made. And for me, whenever I've felt overwhelmed reading everything, trying to figure out what I can do, I think, wow, I mean, if these videos of people dying, being killed for no reason, hurt me to watch, imagine what it's like if you're black. I have never felt like I need to fight to have rights. I never feel in danger. I never feel threatened. I never feel that someone is threatened by my just being present. I watched an interview that Seth Meyers did with Michael Che from Saturday Night Live the other day, and he talked about how he doesn't remember calling 911 as a kid, ever. And I don't either. I don't think I ever called 911. But for me, it was because nothing ever happened around me that I felt the need to call 911. For Michael Che's perspective, he didn't call 911 because he didn't think that it would do him any good. And that is something that I had honestly never even thought about. And that's white privilege. And the more days that go on right now, the more I'm realizing how much I didn't have to think about. And how we should be thinking about it, and we should be talking about it. And all of us white people, I mean, I don't know who you are, but if you're white, we all should be talking to each other. We have to be talking to each other because that's how things are actually gonna change. I read a tweet the other day that said, if the most uncomfortable thing you have to go through this week is talking to your white relatives about racism and having those very uncomfortable conversations with people that maybe grew up thinking totally different than you, you're doing pretty good. Here's another tweet from Terrence L Jones. Things I should be able to do without being murdered. make mistakes in public settings, wear a hoodie out on a walk, look out the window of my own home, stand in my backyard, sleep in my own bed, go for a run, declare I have a weapon on my person, call out abuse, and exist. And I keep reading this list and just thinking about how I have never thought I would be murdered in any of these situations. Maybe going on a run if I'm running late at night. All of these things are just, they should be basic human rights. And they can be. They can be if we just change things, okay? It's also about saying Black Lives Matter. Until recently, I didn't think that was a phrase that I should own or was allowed to own. I thought saying that somehow took away from the Black community who had come up with it. But it's a phrase about lives mattering, and a lot of people don't feel like their life matters. Just think about that. Think about not feeling like you're allowed to exist. Think about not feeling like you matter. It is not up to the Black community to say Black Lives Matter. I have to say Black Lives Matter. I should say, I want to say Black Lives Matter. Also, don't forget to take care of yourself, because if we don't take care of ourselves, if we're not in a good place, we can't help other people be in a good place. For me personally, it took like 10 days straight of working in a row until I realized I was feeling super anxious. I was really sad. I was snapping at my boyfriend all the time for no reason. And I realized, oh, I've just been trying to listen and soak in everything and just scroll, and there's all these important things going on that I have to pay attention to. I forgot to pay attention to myself and my own brain and my own body. If you go watch one episode of something lighthearted, whatever that is, to take your mind off things, it'll be there when you come back, unfortunately. It would be really cool if you could just like go watch an episode of some stupid reality TV show or something, and then you came back and racism was done. That would be really cool. Can someone like invent that? Thank you guys so much for listening to all of this. I'm gonna put a bunch of links in the description below of either places to donate, the Black Lives Matter movement and the resources they have, videos that have been helpful to me and maybe they'll be helpful to you. And please leave a comment or tweet me, whatever, if you have other things that I should learn, other things I should check out, other people I should be following. Because again, we're all learning, we're all trying to be better, and we can make the world better. I love you. Goodbye!